In this walkthrough, I want to take you through digitizing the two houses that we see here. And I'm going to show you two different ways of approaching this. You can see that on the right, we have a house that's rectangular. And then on the left, it's mostly rectangular, but this extension here where the garage is sticks out a little bit. So what we'll do is we're going to go to the edit ribbon and go to create. And then I'll click on houses poly because that's my polygon tool, and you can see that there are several options that are available here for you. I'm going to start with the house on the right, and because it's rectangular in shape, all I have to do to create this is actually use this tool here, the rectangle tool. And what you do is I'll start on the corner here and I will go to along the edge and make sure you're zoomed in enough to see the edge clearly. I will click and then I will drag down, and now you can see that I'm getting a rectangle. Now it doesn't lock in at this second position. That second position where you click just establish the direction of this line, so you have to be careful of that. So now I will go down to this opposite corner and click, and then that closes off the rectangle. So that's the first one. Now this house I can't create simply by using a rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the polygon tool, and you can see that there are tools that are in this menu on the Create Features pane, but there are also some down here at the bottom of the screen as well. And I'm going to actually start by clicking a point, and then I'm going to switch to this tool, which is the right angle line tool, and you'll see why here in a sec. But I'm going to begin by just clicking in a corner here, and you can see that as I move my mouse, getting a straight line to the next vertex that I want to click. Now what I'm going to do, and the nice thing about these tools is that you can switch between them as you are digitizing an object. So changing to this tool will not accidentally stop your editing. So I'm going to click the right angle tool. And again, it looks pretty much like it did just a second ago, but I'm going to go to this opposite corner. I will click, and now when I move my mouse, it doesn't matter where my cursor is. You can see the line is drawing a right angle to that original line. So one of the things that you can do is, instead of moving the cursor up along the edge, if you can see clearly another point where the line ends, you might click over here, because sometimes there's obstructions like trees or whatever, and you can't quite clearly see the corner of the house. But if we move over to the edge, I'll click and it establishes that point there. And again, it goes to right angle. Oops. Didn't want that point, so I'm going to Control Z, and I went a little bit too far down. There we go. Now, I can do this. I can click over here, but the problem that I get sometimes when I do that is, while this angle right here is at a right angle to the previous line, it isn't necessarily going to create a right angle to create a straight edge on the east side of the house right here. So rather than clicking here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, and I'm going to get a context menu, and you're going to see that down towards the bottom of this is here, and I'll try this again, maybe it'll show up a little bit better. Down to the bottom is this menu item called Square and Finish, which is also the F3 key. And so when I click that, it puts that final vertex, so it creates a square corner here, a 90-degree corner relative to this line and that point. And so that's how you can digitize two houses that are rectangles as well as irregular in shape.